What's up, guys? I'm T,
This is Jay,
and we are T and J Live.
Magic and More.
That's us, and today we're gonna come at you guys with the top 10 challenge. Right? So basically, our top 10 challenge is the top 10 things that we feel beginner magicians face all the time. The number one thing that I feel beginner magicians face is, screwing up a trick in front of an audience. Because of the way that people act nowadays and the way that kids are now, I feel like people will learn a trick. Let's say that you go to a YouTube channel that does tutorials. Let's use Card Shuffler 99 as an example. Let's say you go to his page or their page to learn a card trick. So you learn the trick and then you don't take time to practice it and master the trick, and then you go out to show people and then you screw up and then people see exactly how the trick is done. And so now you want to give up because people see how the trick is done. So my advice to you guys would be, make sure that you put in time and effort. Practice the trick first. Master the trick before you show anyone. Okay? Those are my only two advices for you guys.
And memorize how the trick works.
Exactly. If you don't remember anything about the trick at all, then it won't be smooth, it won't flow, it won't do anything. And if you guys are checking out this painting that I have in the background, it's
just stick up the middle finger.
Don't do that. That's like, it's like, I don't know, it's supposed to be religious or something like that. I don't know. It's supposed to represent family. Like, it's the man with his wife on his back and then like the baby's on her back. So that's my advice to you guys, is just make sure you take time to practice, master, and remember, and then you can perform the trick, and then that's how you can step up from there. If you're just learning a trick and you think you know it, then then everyone knows it. Like, if you try to master this right here, right there, when you make the card vanish and reappear, if you don't take time to learn the trick, master it, you're going to flash, people will see where the card's going, and then they'll know how to do it, and the trick's basically ruined for you, and you can't fool anyone anymore because you're not taking time to master the trick. So yeah, but what do you have?
Number 2, hecklers.
Hecklers, yes. You want to deal with the hecklers?
All right. So, for example, basically a heckler is basically a person who claims that they know the trick. So, for example, you're probably doing a card trick, probably a little bit more advanced or intermediate card trick, and some random person from the audience just says, "Oh, hey, I know how to do that trick." Best way to deal with them is just stop the trick and hand them the deck of cards to see if they're able to do the trick. Just allow them to make a fool out of themselves.
That's one way to deal with hecklers. But
the best way.
We will get into 5 ways to deal with hecklers on another video. But number 3, another problem that beginner magicians face is kind of relating back to my first trick, is forgetting how to do a magic trick. So let's say that you're doing a trick and you're halfway in the middle of the trick and then you forget something. So you kind of make something up and then the trick goes south and you don't like the way it ended, and I think that's a challenge that a lot of people face because of you going on YouTube, which is like the #1 platform to learn things, especially tutorials and stuff, the amount of tutorials that's on YouTube. So it's like the #1 platform to learn things. So you go on YouTube and you're searching up all these tricks in one day and you're trying to mash them all together in your brain, and it can't take all of that. So what you're doing is you're overloading yourself, and basically you're forgetting how to do tricks, and you mess up, and you don't want to, some people just take it as far as not wanting to do magic anymore. So my advice to you is just make sure that you just take it one trick at a time. Learn one trick, master that trick, then learn another trick. Okay? So yeah.
You know what's the biggest?
Number 4.
You know what I think is the biggest challenge?
What?
Us having come up with 10.
Facts. We wrote down the 10 ideas in our sketch pad.
He left the sketch pad at a public park. I was at that public park. I gave it to my friend who lives in the same.
When he should have just took it home, but he's stupid, so he didn't care.
And I swear I saw him taking it in his building, but somehow they lost it.
It's cool. Hey, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do a magic trick for you. Watch this. In 3 seconds, not even 3, in like 1 second, the whole view of me and Jason is just gonna change. Told you, 3 seconds, the whole view is gonna change. But yeah. So that was yeah. So I lost the sketch pad. So now we're just thinking top 10 off the top of our heads, right off the bat.
Did you put baby powder on these ducks?
That's some fucking foot odor powder. I don't have fanning powder, so I was trying to see what worked and what didn't. It was a flop, sort of, because it didn't work.
Boy.
But yeah, so, number 5, okay? Number 5 is another problem that I think a lot of magicians face, and I think it's a big, big problem, is finding someone to perform for, you know? A lot of magicians, a lot of new magicians, beginner magicians are usually children from like 5, from anywhere from 5 to like 14, just starting in magic. That's just for kids, and then you have, you know, kids from 15 and up, you know, it's just starting in magic, and I feel like the number one problem is finding someone to perform for. I remember when I started out, I had people to perform for because I started off with a magic kit that I could bring to school. I could bring certain parts of the magic kit to school and perform for my friends. But if you don't live somewhere with a lot of kids, or you don't live in a an area with people, or you're just not very social, you know, finding someone to perform for is going to be a very, very big issue. And one of the ways to just get yourself out there after you feel confident in your tricks is probably to just perform at like anywhere you can. So if you're just going out to the mall or just you by yourself, you know, just go up to people and ask them if they want to see a magic trick, you know, and show them a trick. You know, if you're at a cookout, show your family. If you're just with your mom or your dad or your uncle or your grandma, whoever, show them the trick. But, you know, finding someone to perform for is a very big problem that a lot of beginner magicians face. So.
Now, number 6. I feel like the biggest challenge magicians face are stage fright or getting nervous while performing a trick.
Yes, that's a big fear that a lot of magicians have, which is stage fright, like you said,
Yeah.
and getting nervous. I know Jason can speak to you about that on personal experience. When he starts to perform a trick, he'll get nervous. I don't even know why, but he gets nervous and his hands will start to shake, which causes him to move slower. And I think that when you move slower on certain tricks, it kind of either gives away something, or, you know, people can tell that you're nervous. But yeah, so getting nervous is another issue you're gonna have. You have to get over your fear of stage fright or performing in front of other people if you want to be successful with your magic, because you have to be able to perform in front of a live audience, or you'll end up exactly like Zach King, just doing those with the camera magic videos where, you know, where everything's edited. I'm not hating on the man. You know, he does what he does, but I mean, come on, you know, you gotta be able to do real stuff. So I know those don't sound good at all. But that was number 6. Or was that 7? 6. That was 6. All right, number 7. The 7th problem that I think beginner magicians deal with is probably not a big problem, but it's a slight issue, which is basically just, you know, not being able to afford gimmicks. And I think a lot of magicians, when they start out, they don't want to start, you know, with a normal deck of cards. They want to start with some sort of gimmick, like a thumb tip, or like a card gimmick, you know, or something, or like a coin that's hollowed out in the center that can change into a different coin, you know, stuff like that. They want to start off with gimmicks instead of original stuff that you could do with like borrowed objects, right? And, you know, if you can't afford a gimmick, don't try to create your own version of the gimmick, and because you're basically knocking off someone else's money that they rightfully so deserve. So, you know, just, if you can't afford, don't buy it. You know, that's my only advice. Don't knock other magicians' stuff. What are you doing? weirdo.
I'm the weird one on this channel.
So, if you can't afford a gimmick or something, don't worry about it. You don't need a gimmick. All you need is a deck of cards, your 2 hands, and YouTube. That's all you're ever gonna need, bro. Just like your 2 hands, a deck of cards, and some YouTube. And because that, like I said earlier, that's the #1 learning platform. It'll help you get out there so much farther. It'll set you way ahead of everyone else, because not a lot of people want to work without gimmicks. And a lot of people don't know what gimmicks are. Like, I didn't, when I started out, I started with gimmicks, but I pretty much took the regular deck of cards out of the Chris Angel Mind Freak deck that I bought, and just used the regular deck of cards. I read some tricks in the tutorial. I went on YouTube and learned some regular magic tricks with a regular deck of cards. Or, if someone has their own deck of cards, you can do with the borrowed deck of cards. That way nothing's actually, set up. So, it's always nice to learn some original tricks to do with your own 2 hands. Fail. Number 8.
It was 1 card.
Number 8. What do you think of for number 8?
I can't really think of any more.
I got you, famo. Number 8, I would say another problem would probably be being able.
You got me, huh?
I got you, bro. I can't think of a number 8. We had a whole top 10 listed out, and
then we lost the sketchbook.
We lost the sketchbook. Oh wait, okay, here we go. Another issue that you guys may or may not face is sleight of hand. Learning different sleights. Because when you learn a trick, there might be different sleights that you have to do for a certain trick. Like, some tricks you might have to learn how to, like, palm a card. Some cards you have to know how to, back palm a card. You have to know how to put something in a Tenkai palm, like that. You have to learn how to do different sleights, and not all sleights are easy. Not all sleights are created equally, and that's going to be a big problem, learning how to do certain sleights to perfect a magic trick. So, that's going to be an issue, learning how to do certain things to complete magic. And this is not just for magicians. If you're a cardist and you're just starting out in cardistry, let's say the first thing I learned in cardistry, I'm still beginning in cardistry, but let's say you're doing the 5 faces of Sybil, right? So it's going to look really awful. I know it will. Okay, I'm just going to start over. Well, I'm not even going to do it all. But if you're doing the 5 faces of Sybil, you have to learn how to be able to have all of those cards out at one time and hold them, even when it's not touching your fingertips. So you have to be okay with doing some of these things, and you have to learn the sleights. It's not always easy. Number 9. Did I give you some time to think of something?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 9.
Number 9. How to handle the deck of cards. That's something I had trouble at the beginning of handling a deck of cards. I used to did it weirdly, but now the way I handle it is where pinky at the bottom, finger here, middle finger here, and then the index finger on the top. Right. And then the thumb right here. That's a dealer's way of handling the deck.
So, make sure you learn your grips and your techniques. Dealer's grip, straddle grip. Learn your different grips and techniques. So this is another, middle grip, all that stuff. Make sure you learn your elms and counts, all of that stuff. You want to make sure you learn technique and sleight before you learn the actual trick. That's my advice, because if you learn the trick and not the sleight, then when you go to perform the trick yourself, vanish. It's just not gonna work, and it's not gonna go the way you think it's gonna go in your head, and you're gonna feel some type of way about it. So my advice to you is to learn the sleights and the handlings and different grips, and learn how to do pattern as well. Number 10, last and final one. I thought about this just now. Okay, relating back to getting nervous. Number 10, I would say, is dealing with crowds. Okay, let's say that you started off doing a magic trick for one person. You show them a card, and then you take the card and you put it right there in the middle. You close the deck, snap your finger, and it takes the top. you know, dealing with a crowd, it's different when you're performing for 1 or 5 people. It's different when you're performing for like 10 to 20 people. It's different because the bigger the crowd is, they're not going to stand where you want them to stand. The crowds don't always listen, they don't always comply. And crowds can be a tough thing to work with, especially if you're a beginner magician. So my advice would be just make sure that you're comfortable, try not to get nervous, you know, try to keep it cool, stay calm, and stay collect. And, you know, just make sure that you can do, you know, do your magic to the best of your ability. Try not to get loud, you know, and also learn your sleights and stuff, you know. Make sure you learn everything, because if you don't, it's just going to be an epic fail. And, you know, we want the best for you and your magic career. And I know me and Jay, we want you to go very, very, very far with your magic. And however far it'll take you is how far we want you to go with it.
To the stars above.
But yeah, so, yeah guys, just make sure that you guys right here are doing the best of your ability that you can. Follow these tips and I promise that you'll be successful. Learn your sleights, practice and master your tricks. You know, practice makes perfect, I swear. You can't say it enough. And, you know, make sure you learn the sleights before you learn the tricks. Don't focus so heavily on gimmicks. Don't focus on trying to learn some trick that you saw some dude do on TV. Use YouTube and use Google. If you have to, go to like a magic store close to you, or go online and order a book that'll teach you magic. I have a book in my room, right?
That's crumpled up.
No. It's not that book. I have a book, and it's a whole book on different tricks. It teaches you coin sleights, sleight of hand with cards, coin and rope magic, thumb tip magic, any kind of magic. It teaches you, and there's a whole series to this book. I only have book 1 right now, but it's nice to learn from different platforms because you can learn different things and you can learn different variations on different tricks. But that's all I have to say. I'm kind of winded right now, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video and enjoyed our tips, and make sure that you
like, subscribe, comment down below, and share the video with your friends, family, and whoever else you want to share it with.
Yeah, and if you're new, make sure you subscribe, like you said, and hit that little bell so you can so you can turn your notifications on for us, so you know when we're posted. And make sure you follow us on social media. We're going to be starting an Instagram page. We haven't thought about the name for it yet, but we're going to start it really, really soon, and we'll let you guys know in the next video. But make sure you follow him on Snapchat at
Lobos.Jason920.
And we'll put this in the description if you can't
spell
his last name. And you can follow me on Snapchat at Magic Lightskin, and it'll pop up the Cloud God when you add me. And if you're adding me on Instagram, my personal account, it would be MagicTie_54, and those are our things. But you guys, in the words of Jarek120, aka Disturb Reality, what is it? Inspire to learn and inspire to grow.
Yep.
And have a great day.